Riyadh, and was reportedly founded by the tribe of Banu Hanifa. Hajr served as the capital of the province of al-Yamamah, whose governors were responsible for most of Central and Eastern Arabia during the Umayyad and Abbasid eras. Al-Yamamah broke away from the Abbasid Empire in 866 and the area fell under the rule of the Uqaydarites, who moved the capital from Hajr to nearby al-Kaj. The city then went into a long period of decline. In the 14th century, North African traveller Ibn Battuta wrote of his visit to Hajr, describing it as the main city of al-Yamamah, and its name is Hajr. Ibn Battuta goes on to describe it as a city of canals and trees with most of its inhabitants belonging to Bani Hanifa, and reports that he continued on with their leader to Mecca to perform the Hajj. Later on, Hajr broke up into several separate settlements and estates. The most notable of these were Migran and Mekal, though the name Hajr continued to appear in local folk poetry. The earliest known reference to the area by the name Riyadh comes from a 17th-century chronicler reporting on an event from the year 1590. In 1737, Diham ibn Dawus, a refugee from neighboring Manfuha, took control of Riyadh. Ibn Dawus built a single wall to encircle the various quarters of Riyadh, making them effectively a single town. The three Saudi states in 1744, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab formed an alliance with Muhammad ibn Sa'd, the ruler of the nearby town of Diriyah. Ibn Sa'd then set out to conquer the surrounding region with the goal of bringing it under the rule of a single Islamic state. Ibn Dawus of Riyadh led the most determined resistance, allied with forces from al-Kaj, al-Ahsa, and the Banu Yam clan of Najran. However, Ibn Dawus fled and Riyadh capitulated to the Saudis in 1774, ending long years of wars, and leading to the declaration of the first Saudi state, with Riyadh as its capital. The first Saudi state was destroyed by forces sent by Muhammad Ali of Egypt, acting on behalf of the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman forces razed the Saudi capital Diriyah in 1818. They had maintained a garrison at Najd. This marked the decline of the House of Saud for a short time. Turk bin Saud became the Emir of Saudi. He was the cousin of Saud bin Saud, and he ruled for 19 years till 1834, and this led to the consolidation of the area, though they were notionally under the control of the Muhammad Ali, the Viceroy of Egypt. In 1823, Turki ibn Abdullah, as the founder of the second Saudi state, chose Riyadh as the new capital. Following assassination of Turki in 1834, his eldest son Faisal killed the assassin and took control, and refused to be controlled by the Viceroy of Egypt. Najd was then invaded and Faisal taken captive and held in Cairo. However, as Egypt became independent of Ottoman Empire, Faisal escaped after 5 years of incarceration, returned to Najd and regained his reign, ruled till 1865, and consolidated the reign of House of Saud. Following the death of Faisal, there was rivalry among his sons, which situation was exploited by Muhammad bin Rashid, who took most part of Najd, signed a treaty with Turkey and also captured Hassa in 1871. In 1889, Abdul Rahman bin Faisal, the third son of Faisal, again regained control over Najd and ruled till 1891, whereafter the control was regained by Muhammad bin Rashid. Internecine struggles between Turkey's grandsons led to the fall of the second Saudi state in 1891 at the hand of the rival al-Rashid clan, which ruled from the northern city of Ha'i. The al-Mazmik fort dates from that period. Abdul Rahman bin Faisal al-Saud had sought refuge among a tribal community on the outskirts of Najd and then went to Kuwait with his family and stayed in exile. However, his son Abdulaziz retrieved his ancestral kingdom of Najd in 1902 and consolidated his rule by 1926 and further expanded his kingdom to cover most of the Arabian Peninsula. He named his kingdom as Saudi Arabia in September 1932 with Riyadh as the capital. King Abdulaziz died in 1953 and his son Saud took control as Pur. The established succession rule of father to son from the time Muhammad bin Saud had established the Saud rule in 1744. However, this established line of succession was broken when King Saud was succeeded by his brother King Faisal in 1964. In 1975, Faisal was succeeded by his brother King Khalid. In 1982, King Fahd took the reins from his brother. This new line of succession is among the sons of King Abdulaziz, who has 35 sons. This large family of Ibn Saud hold all key positions in the large kingdom. Modern history. From the 1940s, Riyadh mushroomed from a relatively narrow, spatially isolated town into a spacious metropolis. Following the example of American cities, new settlements and entire neighborhoods were created in grid-like squares of a chessboard, created and connected by high-performance main roads to the inner areas. The grid pattern in the city was introduced in 1953. The population growth of the town from 1974 to 1992 averaged 8.2% per year. Since the 1990s, there has been a series of terrorist attacks on locals and foreigners, as well as protests against the royal family. On 13 November 1995, a car bomb which detonated outside a classroom building of the Saudi National Guard left 6 dead, and injured over 60 people. On 12 May 2003, 34 people died in a suicide attack targeting American civilians. On 8 November 2003, a suicide truck bomb attack in the Muhiyya residential area with Saudis and Arab foreigners was responsible for killing 18 and injuring 122 people. Al-Qaeda has claimed responsibility for the attacks. On 23 June 2006, Saudi security forces stormed a suspected hideout of al-Qaeda in the neighborhood of al-Nakhil. A bloody battle ensued during which 6 extremists and a policeman were killed. The current mayor of Riyadh is Ibrahim Mohammed Al-Sultan, an experienced transport official. He was appointed mayor in 2015. Geography and climate. City districts. Riyadh is divided into 15 branch municipalities, in addition to the diplomatic quarter. Each branch municipality in turn contains several districts, amounting to over 130 in total, though some districts are divided between more than one branch municipality. The branch municipalities are Al-Shimaisai, Akkar, Al-Madha, Al-Olaya, Al-Azizia, Al-Malaz, Al-Saleh, Nema, Al-Nasim, Al-Shaifa, Al-Uraya, Al-Batha, Al-Hair, Al-Rauda, and Al-Shimal. Olaya district is the commercial heart of the city, with accommodation, entertainment, dining and shopping options. The Kingdom Centre, Al-Faisalia and Al-Talya Street are the area's most prominent landmarks. The centre of the city, Al-Baydar and Al-Dara, is also its oldest part. Some of the main districts of Riyadh are climate classified as having a hot desert climate. Temperatures during the summer months are extremely hot. The average high temperature in August is 43.6 degrees Celsius. Winters are warm with cool, windy nights. The overall climate is arid, and the city experiences very little rainfall, especially in summer, but receives a fair amount of rain in March and April. It is also known to have many dust storms. The dust is often so thick that visibility is under 10 meters. In April 2015, a massive dust storm hit Riyadh, causing suspension of classes in many schools in the area and cancellation of hundreds of flights, both domestic and international. Demographics. The city had a population of 40,000 inhabitants in 1935 and 83,000 in 1949. The city has experienced very high rates of population growth, from 150,000 inhabitants in the 1960s to over 5 million. According to the most recent sources, According to 2010 census, the population of Riyadh was composed of 65% Saudi families, while non-Saudi families accounted for 35% of the population. Landmarks and architecture. Vernacular architecture of Old Riyadh. The old town of Riyadh within the city walls didn't exceed an area of 1 square kilometre. Therefore, very few significant architectural remnants of the original walled oasis town of Riyadh exist today. The most prominent is the Mazmak Fort and some parts of the original wall structure with its gate, which have been restored and reconstructed. There are also a number of traditional mud brick houses within these old limits. However, they are for the most part dilapidated. Expansion outside the city walls was slow to begin with, although there were some smaller oases and settlements surrounding Riyadh. The first major construction beyond the walls was King Abdulaziz's Maraba Palace. It was constructed in 1936, completed in 1938, and a household of 800 people moved into it in 1938. The palace is now part of a bigger complex called the King Abdulaziz Historical Center. There are other traditional villages and towns in the area around traditional Riyadh which the urban sprawl reached and currently encompasses. These are Diriyah, Manfuha and Wadi Laban, to name a few. Unlike in the early days of development in Riyadh, during which vernacular structures were razed to the ground without consideration, there is a newfound appreciation for traditional architecture. The Saudi Commission for Tourism and Antiquities is making efforts for revitalizing the historic architecture in Riyadh and other parts of the kingdom. Archaeological sites. The archaeological sites at Riyadh which are of historical importance, in which the municipality of Riyadh is involved, are the 5 old gates on the old walls of Riyadh. These are the Eastern Gate of Thumaira, the Northern Gate of Al-Suwaylan, the Southern Gate of Dukna, the Western Gate of Al-Madbar and the Southwestern Gate of Shumaisi. There are also 4 historic palaces, which are the Musmaq Palace, the Al-Maraba Palace, Prince Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman, and the Shamsiyya Palace. Mazmak Fortress. This fortress was built around 1865 under the reign of Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Rashid, the ruler of Hay to the north, who had wrested control of the city from the rival clan of Al Saud. In January 1902, Ibn Saud, who was at the time living in exile in Kuwait, succeeded in capturing the Mazmak fortress from its Rashid garrison. The event, which restored Saudi control over Riyadh, has acquired almost mythical status in the history of Saudi Arabia. The story of the event is often retold, and has as its central theme the heroism and bravery of the King Abdulaziz ibn Saud. The Mazmak fortress is now a museum and is in close proximity to the Clock Tower Square, also known as Chop Chop Square. Contemporary architecture. Kingdom Tower. The tower is built on 94,230 square meters of land. The Kingdom Center is owned by a group of companies including Kingdom Holding Co., headed by Al-Walid bin Talal, a prince of the Saudi royal family, and is the headquarters of his holding company, the Kingdom Holding Company. The project cost 2 billion Saudi Arabian riyals and the contract was undertaken by El Seif. The Kingdom Center is the winner of the 2002 Empories Skyscraper Award, selected as the Best New Skyscraper of the Year for design and functionality. A 3-level shopping center, which also won a major design award, fills the east wing. The large opening is illuminated at night in continuously changing colors. The shopping center has a separate floor for women only to shop where men are not allowed to enter. The Kingdom Tower has 99 stories and is the 3rd tallest structure in the country, rising to 300 meters. A special aspect of the tower is that it is divided into 2 parts in the last 1/3 of its height and linked by a skybridge walkway, which provides stunning views of Riyadh. Burj Rafal. Burj Rafal is the tallest skyscraper in Riyadh and towers 1,010 feet. Construction of Burj Rafal started at May 2011 and opened on June 2013. Approximately it took 2 years to finish. The skyscraper has about 350 rooms and it is also one of the tallest hotels in the world. The building had a total cost of about $320 million. It is located on King Fahd Road and is built by P&T Architectures. This luxurious five-star hotel is part of the renowned German hotel chain of Kempinski. Burj Al Faisalia. Al Faisalia Center is the first skyscraper constructed in Saudi Arabia, and is the third tallest building in Riyadh after the Burj Rafal and the Kingdom Center. The golden ball that lies atop the tower is said to be inspired by a ballpoint pen, and contains a restaurant. Immediately below this is an outside viewing deck. There is a shopping center with major world brands at ground level. Al Faisalia Center also has a hotel at both sides of the tower, while the main building is occupied by offices run by different companies. The Al Faisalia Tower has 44 stories. Riyadh TV Tower. The Riyadh TV Tower is a 170-meter high television tower located inside the premises of Saudi Ministry of Information. It is vertical cantilever structure which was built between 1978 to 81, 9:23 p.m., and this year was called TV Year. The first movie made in 1983 by the TV Tower Group and named 1000 Nights and Nights had Muhammad Abdu and Talal Memdar as the main characters. At that time, there were no women on TV because of religious restrictions. 3 years later, Abdul Khaliq Al-Ghanim produced TV series called Tashma Tash, earned a good reaction from the Gulf's audience. This series created a media revolution back in the 1980s. Museums and collections. In 1999, a new central museum was built in Riyadh, at the eastern side of the King Abdulaziz Historical Center. The National Museum of Saudi Arabia combined several collections and pieces that had up until then been scattered over several institutions in other places in Riyadh and the kingdom. For example, the meteorite fragment known as the Camel's Hump that was on display at the King Saud University in Riyadh became the new entry piece of the National Museum of Saudi Arabia. The Royal Saudi Air Force Museum, or Saqr Al-Jazara, is located on the East Ring Road of Riyadh between exits 10 and 11. It contains a collection of aircraft and aviation-related items used by the Royal Saudi Air Force and Saudi Arabian Airlines. Sports. Football is the most popular sport in Saudi Arabia. The city hosts 4 major football clubs. Al Hilal, which is the most widely supported club in Saudi Arabia, was established in 1957 and has won 13 championships in the Saudi Premier League. Al Nassr Club is another team in the top league that has many supporters around the kingdom. It was established in 1955, and has been named champion of the Saudi League 7 times. Another well-known club, Al-Shabab, was established in 1947 and holds 6 championships. There is also Al-Riyāḍ Club, which was established in 1954, as well as many other minor clubs. The city also hosts several large stadiums such as King Fahd International Stadium with a seating capacity of 70,000. The stadium hosted the FIFA Confederations Cup 3 times, in the years 1992, 1995 and 1997. It also hosted the FIFA U20 World Cup in 1989. Transportation. Airport. Riyadh's King Khalid International Airport, located 35 kilometers north from the city center, is the city's main airport, and serves over 17 million passengers a year. Plans are being made to expand the airport to accommodate for 35 million passengers, given that the airport was only built for 12 million passengers annually. But new airport is on the table. Road. The city is served by a modern major highway system. The main Eastern Ring Road connects the city's south and north, while the Northern Ring Road connects the city's east and west. King Fahd Road runs through the center of the city from north to south, in parallel with the East Ring Road. Makkah Road, which runs east-west across the city's center, connects eastern parts of the city with the city's main business district and the diplomatic quarters. Railways and Metro. Saudi Railway Authority operates two separate passenger and cargo lines between Riyadh and Dammam, passing through Hofuf and Harad. Two future railway projects, connecting Riyadh with Jeddah and Mecca in the western region, and connecting Riyadh with Buraida in northern Saudi Arabia, are underway. A metro has also been approved with 6 lines planned, with scheduled opening in 2019. Buses. The metro system will be integrated with an 85 km 3-line bus rapid transit network. The main charter bus company in the kingdom, known as the Saudi Public Transport Company, offers trips both within the kingdom and to its neighboring countries, including Egypt and the Gulf states. Media. The 170 meters Riyadh TV tower, operated by the Ministry of Information, was built between 1978 and 1981. National Saudi television channels: Saudi TV 1, Saudi TV 2, Saudi TV Sports, Al-Akhbariyya, Art channels network operate from here. Television broadcasts are mainly in Arabic, although some radio broadcasts are in English or French. Arabic is the main language used in television and radio, but radio broadcasts are also made in different languages such as Urdu, French, or English. Riyadh has 4 Arabic newspapers: Asharq Al-Awsat, Al-Riyāḍ, Al Jazeera and Al-Watan; 2 English-language newspapers, Saudi Gazette and Arab News; and 1 Malayalam-language newspaper, Gulf Madhyamam.